publisher of HideNet Market Reports, and thanks for tuning in tonight. In Latin America this week, David Holes, who lives in Nuevo Hamburgo, and will be hosting, not David, but Nuevo Hamburgo will be hosting the semi-annual FIMEC, F-I-M-E-C show for the leather industry and footwear and allied industries. Very important for Latin America, and David will be covering that show for us down the street from where he lives, probably. In Brazil, the big news this week is that green prices rose dramatically, in part because of the currency adjustment, but even more so because of a shortage of cattle. The shortage of cattle to kill, for packers to kill profitably, is so extreme that JBS, the biggest packer in the country, in the world, announced the closing of 5 of their slaughterhouses for a 20-day period, calling it a holiday. So that gives you an idea what's going on there. Prices in Brazil are now $1.25 to $1.28. They're asking. I don't know if anybody's getting it yet, but the tanners say we have to have these kind of prices because we're paying so much for green hides, and they can't get enough green hides to having trouble getting enough to tan and meet their previous sold requirements. In other words, they're behind. So there's a shortage, especially of the good quality hides in Brazil. Slaughter is also lower in Paraguay and Argentina, the latter of which prices were steady this week. In Europe, Andrea Guolo, who lives in Bologna, reports that the prices were generally steady in the EU. Italian tanners were not really in with both feet, but Chinese tanners showed better interest, which took up enough of the slack to create the steady market. Top vealskin selections are still good, but below the top grades, not so much. Automotive tanners continue to take the bulls, and new contracts were signed into May. Many, of course, are looking for the APLF in Hong Kong at the end of the month for business improvement. North America, sales seemed slower this week. Steers were firm. Texas and branded steers were steady, but they couldn't get any increases, and of course the buyers couldn't get any decreases. Butts and heavy native steers rose $1, probably based on automotive business. There's a lot of speculation that the gain in American steer prices late February and the first week of March were primarily due to traders covering shorts and getting long. That you'll never know, but that seems to be the feeling. That's our feeling anyway. Sales, there's a good article also in this week's report by Drovers, which watches the cattle production on the American herd rebuilding cycle, which is going on. There's details of that in this week's report as well. Export sales for the reporting period by the United States Department of Agriculture March 3rd showed that sales and shipments surpassed slaughter. That has happened very frequently. Very infrequently. And it's a very positive sign for the market. Many think that prices will keep going up until we get to Hong Kong, and many think they will not. Nobody expects prices to go down, however. Our market observation is that there's a old axiom that when March comes in like a lion, weather-wise, it tends to go out like a lamb. And our analogy is, could this be what's going to happen in the American hide market? We discussed this at length in this week's market report, and hope that you will sign up for a free trial, if you're not getting this report already, at HideNet.com. It'll show you what to do, and we think you'll find a way to make some money. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.